The cryptocurrency industry is a giant scam. So if you own any cryptocurrency, I encourage you to sell all of it and cash out all of your money to a bank account. Now, speaking as someone who's been involved in Bitcoin for a very long time, I am deliberately leveraging my reputation to tell you this. It's difficult to make this argument because, well, I've been making this argument for many years, and what has actually happened is logical arguments are just being flooded out by an ongoing Sybil attack. So a Sybil attack is when people create fake identities to make it look like a message is bigger than it really is. And the way the marketing in the cryptocurrency industry works is you have scammers and criminals who are anonymous, who operate bots and shills, who Sybil attack practically everyone. So let's take Elon Musk as an example. So Tesla just purchased BTC. BTC is not Bitcoin, as anybody who's heard anything I've been saying for several years in a row would know. BTC is not Bitcoin. The closest thing we have to Bitcoin is BSV, not BTC. BTC is a joke. What actually happened was a cult of cypherpunk ideologues took over the name Bitcoin and twisted it into a completely different project. It is a joke. And I say it's a joke because I don't even know what it's a joke. It's a scam. It's a fraud. They're passing off as Bitcoin when they aren't really. BTC is economically broken. But let's get back to that in a moment. Let's take Elon Musk as an example here. What Elon Musk has done is, well, Elon Musk, more than any other CEO I'm aware of, is obsessed with Twitter. He's obviously getting some of his information one way or another from Twitter. Elon Musk has been Sybil attacked. Elon Musk doesn't realize that all of the information he's getting about cryptocurrency originates from scammers. Even if it comes from someone like Tim Draper or Naval or whoever, these people have actually been scammed. They're a part of the scam now, but probably unwittingly. They don't realize that what they're doing is actually to echo a Sybil attack. What has actually happened is, going all the way back to the very early days of Bitcoin, people have been pumping BTC and they've been creating altcoins and pumping those as well in order to create a giant criminal enterprise that is probably not actually worth $1 trillion, but when you look at the numbers and create a first order approximation, is about $1 trillion criminal, essentially a sort of cartel that's going on right now. So what has happened with Elon is, I don't know where he's getting his information about Bitcoin. It's probably from Twitter, or it's probably from other people that are reading Twitter. So his close advisors and things like this. He got it from that guy, Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor obviously has no idea the first thing about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not encrypted. These people have no idea what it even is. Digital gold doesn't even make any sense. Read the Bitcoin white paper. It's so funny how Craig is going around actually suing people now for hosting his Bitcoin white paper. And these people obviously don't understand the white paper that they're pretending to support. So just read the white paper. Try to understand what it says. Then you can also watch the interview series I did with Craig where we went over the white paper line by line. So Elon has been scammed. Okay, Elon is now wrapped up in the scam. He doesn't realize that his platform has now been used by scammers to amplify their scam. Now Elon is going to rope in a bunch of other people. People are going to buy BTC because Elon's buying it, because Tesla's buying it. Okay, but he's just amplifying the scam. So it's a very large bubble now. Now we can start to figure out how long this will take before this bubble bursts. If Tesla is a mainstream public company that is buying BTC, they're one of the highest market cap companies in the world. Elon is now the wealthiest person in the world measured by the value of his shares. Of course, it's the share price is vastly out of whack with the reality of the production of that company, which is a whole other story. I think it's no coincidence that Elon is the first major CEO to buy BTC, because Tesla basically is, it's 90% overhyped. So just like BTC, except BTC is even more extreme. It's like 99.9%, or really even, I would go so far as to say it's practically 100% overhyped. That there is no actual underlying value of BTC, and the only reason why it has a price at all is because they took the name Bitcoin. If they lost the name Bitcoin, which they will soon, it will lose all of its value. Okay, so anyway, Elon is a part of the scam. So let's start thinking about how big this could possibly get. Well, other mainstream companies could buy BTC. And when they put in real money that floods the ecosystem. There's only so much real money that can be put in. I mean, how many mainstream companies are going to actually put BTC on their balance sheet? And the interesting thing is, it doesn't take very much research to understand that it's a giant scam. Anybody that actually bothers to researches it, and looks past Twitter and looks past the cryptocurrency publications, try to actually understand things with your own mind, you're going to see red flag after red flag after red flag after red flag. The industry is a giant scam. Okay? It doesn't take much research. Elon obviously didn't do any research. Okay? He's trusting Twitter. He's trusting his advisors who didn't do research, or perhaps he went against the wishes of advisors. I wouldn't be surprised at all that Elon would use his reputation essentially to just bypass his own advisors. Who knows? I'm speculating. But anyway, the bubble can't be that much bigger. I know by reference that the dot-com bubble was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 to $3 trillion. We're now in that range. We're in the $1 to $3 trillion range right now. Of course, the value of the US dollar has inflated over time. Perhaps the bubble could be bigger. It's probably not going to be that much bigger. But if it does go bigger, all that happens is it makes it even more likely that when the bust happens, it will permanently end, just like the dot-com bubble. When you reach that final peak, there's no going back. The projects without substance, which in this case includes cryptocurrencies and businesses, the ones that don't have substance will just completely go away. They don't just decline in value. They go completely to zero. They just go bankrupt. They completely end. And what can I say? I'm going to keep telling people that the cryptocurrency industry is a giant scam. Let me run through a couple of elements of how it works. So I mentioned Sybil attacks. There are scammers behind the scenes who are creating Sybil attacks. They create lots of fake accounts on social media that are bots, machines, programs, and shills. These are paid shills. These are people in low-income countries like the Philippines that they pay to shill on social media. That's what they're doing. They've completely dominated the narrative. People that are saying the truth, like myself, are simply flooded out. You don't see my message because they post 1,000 times more than I do. So if you don't dig in and try to understand things for yourself, you'll never even hear what I'm saying, because they have flooded me out. And there's a handful of people that are saying the truth. We've all been flooded out. We've been Sybiled away. Okay? So anyway, the Sybil attack is a part of it. Underlying crimes like money laundering and so on, this has a lot to do with it. There are genuine criminals involved that are selling drugs on the internet or worse, that are leveraging all this. Part of the scam is Tether, so just look into Tether. I mean, once again, I'm not even going to try to give you an argument, because if you just do your own research and you're willing to acknowledge the obvious red flags, you're going to realize it's a bad idea to touch Tether. Do not touch Tether. It is obviously going to go to zero. It will completely fail. It is probably totally fraudulent. It'll just go away. And they're probably pumping the price is what's going on. So Tether's a part of the scam. The other part of the scam is the fact that BTC is not even Bitcoin. I mean, a completely different crew of people have taken over the name Bitcoin. So even the thing that everybody thinks is the best one is not the best one at all. They're totally wrong. So when you look at the market cap, coinmarketcap.com, go add up the values of these cryptocurrencies, you can start to tell the industry is like 99.9% scam. I mean, there's practically nothing underneath. All of the legitimate stuff has actually declined from about 2013 until now. There's very little legitimate activity, relatively speaking. It's mostly a scam. It's inflated prices. It's pyramid schemes, Ponzi schemes, outright fraud. Tether is just fraudulent. Genuine scams, genuine criminal behavior, money laundering, things like this. The whole industry is a giant scam. Now look at what's happening with the government. There are various government agencies, most especially the United States and Europe and China and whoever else, but a lot of it coming out of the US to essentially point out that this industry is now mostly criminal. And so fortunately, the government isn't entirely anti-Bitcoin or blockchain, but they are just acknowledging the truth that the industry is mostly a scam. It is mostly criminal. There are people genuinely involved in terrorism using cryptocurrency. There's nothing good about any of this stuff. It's a giant scam. So anyway, I'm just saying this. I'm going to use my reputation so that speaking as someone who's been involved in the Bitcoin industry for almost 10 years now, I'm one of the most experienced people in the industry. There's no way I could give you a logical argument in detail because, I could give it to you, but I know that it wouldn't work because I've been doing that for several years and no one has listened to me. You have to do your own research Be willing to acknowledge red flags. Research Tether. Do you see red flags? Research BTC. Read about SegWit. Read about small blocks. What happened in 2017? Why do I keep mentioning 2017? Why does that year matter? What is Bitcoin Cash? What is Bitcoin SV? What are these things? Why would I say that BTC is a scam? Because it is. So research these things. Identify red flags. You're going to see red flags. They are extremely obvious. And if you don't see the red flags yourself, I don't think a logical argument would actually do anything, because I can tell from my history in this industry, I'm just flooded out when I say things that are logical and reasonable. When I say things like the importance of setting the protocol in stone or whatever to echo InChain. No one hears these things. We're just being flooded out. You have no choice but to do your own research. So I think if you research things, you're probably going to realize what I'm saying. Unless you're willing to be full-time involved, you're probably better off staying completely out of the industry right now. We're in crazy bubble territory. This is like January of year 2000. I don't know how much longer this can go on, but January of year 2000 was, this bubble is just obviously a bubble. It's obviously crazy. When do you get out? When do you sell? It's really, really difficult to know when that peak is exactly. It might go up a lot further. I don't know for sure, but it will definitely burst. And this is probably going to be the last time it bursts, because these things make no freaking sense. And they are clearly outside the law in many, many different ways, in terms of financial regulations and in terms of blatant criminality, terrorism, and all this stuff that these people are involved in. So anyway, the industry is a giant scam. If you don't know what Bitcoin is, like if you can't explain to me the Bitcoin white paper, do you think you should be buying any of this stuff? If you don't know, if you don't understand the Bitcoin white paper, have you ever read the Bitcoin white paper? If you haven't read it, you might not understand it. You probably shouldn't be investing in it. So if you own any of it, you're probably invested in a scam. You should probably sell all of it, cash out to a bank account before you lose all of your money. All right, that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening.